running some stupid London traffic. Hey, sorry I'm late. Oh, shit. So, there are two ways to look at every situation. You know, like my father always told me, you can look at the glass half empty or half full. For instance, I'm either, super late and I'm sorry, I missed all of you, and especially to your professor, Todd, I'm very sorry. Traffic really sucked today. Or either that or I'm really early for next week's class, So another way to look at it. And really the second way doesn't make that much sense since I'm actually in the wrong classroom. I think a club was taking up BA 112, so I don't even understand how it took me so long to get down here, but very sorry I couldn't make it on time. So here's a quick video of what being a grad student is actually like. This is cool because I can be all multimedia and show you really what it is to be a grad student, what's it like to be a grad student in epi and epidemiology. Sorry, I should really spell it out. What's it like to be an epidemiology grad student, as well as a grad student in the epi and biostats program, epidemiology and biostatistics program. Sorry, we don't like spelling out all our acronyms in our program at Western. I think what a lot of you want to ask me is, what's it like to be a grad student, especially a grad student in a thesis-based program versus something like a professional program. So I can at least speak to the thesis-based part of it. So the first year of my program was very heavily based on kind of the methodology, the didactic learning experience. It was a lot of class. It was very similar to undergrad in the sense that we had 5 classes in the first semester, 3 or 4 in the second semester, depending on what electives you take. And then the moment that classes end and we're taught our epidemiological skill set, as soon as first year ended, everything kind of classes just drop, and then we're all kind of forced into this kind of independent learning curve, which is thesis year. So when thesis year starts, a lot of our interaction is very focused, it's very self-taught. We have the advice of our supervisor, and we learn a lot from our supervisors. But I find myself interacting with other students less and less, and kind of spending more days kind of in an office by myself, which is really good for somebody like me who's extremely extroverted. It really helped me focus, get my work done. I work with a lot of people from different backgrounds and from a lot of different age categories, which is very cool. And maybe I'll get to show them off in this video. EPI is definitely one of those programs. I think if you are interested in the quantitative side of research, and B, the health sciences, and C, feel very well versed in research and competent in your research ability, this is definitely a program that I think speaks well to you. One thing I think I should really pop out from EPI is that it's very based on, it's very similar in the sense that we use a similar toolbox to research said concept or various concepts, but our research questions can be completely different. I have a research question that's based on health equity, but is also very based on addiction. Others are interested in mental health, which is something I've been interested in the past. And others are just completely clinical in the way they do things. They're only dealing with the heart, the lungs, the kidney, and that seems very overly general to describe the human body. Of course, it's more than heart, lungs, and kidneys, but
how am I saying?
Some are very strict.
Sorry, director's cut. I just want to interject here. Was rewatching the video backward, and what I mean to actually say in less words is that some research questions in EPI are a little bit more clinical than others. Some are more sociological. EPI, as well as a variety of other master's programs. Some master's programs will have a variety of research questions, research disciplines, and research areas. What will connect you to your peers is the fact that you're using the same sort of methods or methodology that underlies and kind of helps you to solve your specific research question.
Sorry, can I interject something to the interject? I'm just screwing with you. Back to the actual video. One thing I highly recommend if you want to go into any sort of research program, whether it be epidemiology or community psych here at thesis-based research discipline is, let's say it's one in natural science, a grad student that's not necessarily health-based or natural science, is the undergrad thesis is going to benefit you so strongly. And that's not just because you're going to have some great professor to write you an awesome reference letter and help you get into a program. It's because it's going to help you to work one-on-one with a supervisor in kind of a smaller scale project than what a master's thesis would be. So for my thesis, obviously, I just worked on a journal manuscript. For my actual master's thesis, of course, a much larger document. But I was very thankful for this experience because it helped me so much in kind of learning how to write academically, learning how to research, learning how to be analytical and objective. One other thing I want to talk about, the writing aspect of a thesis. Of course, having any sort of thesis-based program includes, I think, two very important skills. One is the skill to be analytical, whether it be analytical from an epidemiological point of view, from, let's say, I'm assuming a chemistry point of view, which is going to be a different type of analysis, or analytical from, let's say, an econ or sociological point of view, which are going to include, obviously, more writing. You have to be able to kind of own a skill that allows you to contribute to literature in your own way. The second way is you have to be able to synthesize your analysis into something that is presentable to the public. So whether that be a conference, whether that be a oral presentation at a conference, a poster presentation at a conference, or I'd say the holy grail, the journal article itself. At least in EPI, it feels like it's the holy grail, it's having your first author publication, or having a publication. You have to be able to be an effective and good communicator and a good academic writer. But I've heard of theses with appendices going over 200 pages. What I'll say to you is that this is maybe perhaps 200 to 300 pages throughout a school year, throughout an academic year. You have about a year and a half to write this. And even if you find yourself able to write day by day, that's actually not the hardest or the slowest component of doing so. Some people need to develop their writing skills a little bit more than others. Some people need to be a little bit better at their analyses. Everybody's got their strengths and their limitations. What I find is it's always something you can improve on, even if you are a little bit intimidated by the writing skill. I could definitely improve my writing. That being said, I'm supposed to submit my lit review today, so I should really drive back to Mississauga. I should really go back. Yeah, I should go back like right now.
I always deal with this shit. Deal with this fucking nut.
Director's Cut Part 2. Sorry, I was just editing this video before I run to the gym, and literally, yeah, that's why I'm wearing gym clothes. One thing I just realized is that I completely left out, okay, I want to go to a master's program, or I'm debating going to a master's program. What's my first and second steps to doing so? So I think the first step is really solidifying what type of research question you want to do and what your particular research area is. I think at least half the people who go into a master's program have completed this step. So you specifically may think, oh, I want to go into an EPI program, or I want to go, but you don't necessarily know where your realm of research is going to be. So the second step of doing so, and I think if you have just step one, if you just know what research area you want to do and you put that into your personal statement, that is, I think, sufficient enough to get into a master's program. The best way to maximize your master's experience, so in my opinion, is to actually seek out a supervisor sometime before, chat them up, tell them why you're interested in their research area and why you think you would be a good fit as one of their students. Maybe sending out an email just as an introductory, arrange to even meet with them. And yeah, without further ado, I should really go to the gym. I should really get going. Oh, sorry, no. The credits are, this is a bonus. So it's kind of like the end of a Marvel movie. There's nothing more to really make a joke about here. This is actually, the video is already supposed to end and be funny. So like the whole, if you're waiting for a joke,